KBH Radio is kbh.org and KBH FM 88.1 HD3 KKJZ Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Welcome to A Taste of the Beach, everybody. I'm Dan Lipton, publisher of Travel, host of Long Beach and South Bay Magazine, and your host for this weekly radio show that showcases the best places to dine, shop, and play in the Long Beach and South Bay area, and to let you know about some of the fun things to do this weekend in and around town. The purpose of this program is to introduce you to many of the fun and exciting businesses featured in our quarterly travel publication by chatting with the people who own and operate them. With me today and every week, of course, is DJ Charlie Sharp. Charlie, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you today?
Excellent. I know you have some exciting news to share with our listeners in regards to your recent trip to New York City, so go ahead and brag on yourself.
Should I brag on myself? Okay, so, we took a crew to New York City. We had 4 shows on K-Beach that were nominated.
And this was what awards were these?
This is the IBS Award, so it's the best in college radio. So there were 4,000 programs on air across the country, and we actually had teams from Britain and UK there as well.
Right.
So we had 4 shows K-Beach nominated. 2 shows actually took home the gold. It's kind of like the Grammy. It's cool to be nominated, but it's even better when you get the gold.
That's what we hear. So, and your show in the mix?
In the mix. DJ show that we do Monday, Friday, new one was a winner. And also Foodology, Dustin and the crew won as well.
Congratulations. So, that's awesome, Charlie.
Yep, it's great.
Well, we'll just parlay that excitement into today's show. We're broadcasting from a great dining and drinking establishment at the LA waterfront. It's the San Pedro Brewing Company at 331 West 6th Street in downtown San Pedro. And our special guests today include the owner of the San Pedro Brewing Company, Mr. James Brown. But first is an OBGYN from Complete Women Care, Dr. Tony Mueller. Welcome, Dr. Mueller.
Hi, happy to be here.
Good. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. So we always like to know a little bit about everybody's background. So kind of like, where are you from and what made you decide to practice medicine?
I'm originally from Romania. I was born in Romania. Then I moved to Toronto, Canada. Subsequent to that, we headed down to Miami Beach for the weather, primarily.
Big difference from Toronto to Miami.
Yes, so I did my medical school training at University of Miami, followed by residency also at Jackson Memorial in Miami. And my husband, who studied at UC Santa Barbara computer science, said it's time to move back to the West Coast.
Yeah.
So that's what brought me over to California. Hired a recruiter, joined Complete Women Care about 7 years ago, and been with them ever since. Yeah.
Found your home.
Yeah.
So you brought none of that Romanian accent with you to...
No, but I could.
You could? So you had one? How do you lose a Romanian accent?
Yeah, you come here early enough.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on the East Coast. And people don't normally know until I, put on the act or have a few drinks or whatever. But, all right, that's terrific. So let's talk a little bit about your practice. You're with Complete Women Care, and they... correct anything that I say that's not correct. You operate multiple facilities that are specifically designed for women throughout the Long Beach and San Pedro area. And I think you operate 2 different types of centers, a GYN emergent care center and a complete care surgical center.
That is right.
Would you like to describe the differences between the 2?
Sure, absolutely. So we have 4 offices located in San Pedro, Long Beach, Lakewood, and Naples. And about a year ago, we opened up the surgical center, the Complete Care Surgical Center at Long Beach. And that is, an outpatient surgical center that is the location where we treat up all of our surgical patients. So instead of going to the hospital, I'd say 80 to 90% of our cases are now done there. Also very exciting is that in front of this surgical center in the same building, we have a GYN, Gynecology Emergency Care Center. So same-day patients can present with any kind of acute abdomen or anything requiring surgery, and we can facilitate that for them the same day.
So probably the best way to describe the difference between the two is one is emergency care where you need to see somebody today. It's walk-in,
exactly,
and it's female again related,
exactly,
and where the surgical center is probably planned surgeries.
Correct, but
right?
if you show up to the emergency center and you need surgery that day, we can take you to the back to the surgical center.
And the advantage of going, if you're a woman, the advantage of going to one of the complete women care centers is that the staff and everything that you do is all focused around women and your understanding and the needs.
Absolutely, yes. It's very patient oriented, and from the minute you enter our offices, everything is geared to making it a comfortable spa-like experience. So you don't feel like you're at a hospital or just another number.
Right, and I would imagine that, correct me if I'm wrong, but a hospital may be able to help someone initially, but if you really want specialized care for a woman, they're much better off going to your place.
Absolutely.
Right?
You know, a lot of patients go to the hospital, to the emergency room with gynecology complaints, and after being worked up, they're sent to their gynecologist to follow up. Nothing is really done. Whereas when they come to see us, we not only diagnose, but we treat them the same day. And then we follow up with you.
Right, where a hospital might say, this is what you have, now make an appointment with your OBGYN.
Yes, no, we're a one-stop shop.
Right. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to let everybody, all you ladies out there know about this. So it's interesting that in addition to most of the procedures that are performed by people like yourself, your patients also receive aromatherapy, massage therapy, acupressure, and a gift bag with every procedure.
Yes, it is truly a spa.
Almost makes me want to go.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're getting surgery.
Right.
You come in and we treat you like you're at a spa, and afterwards you recover in a spa-like environment.
And
you have one-on-one nursing. You have meals delivered to you. I mean, it's just
I don't have anything. It's for ladies only, right?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
only.
See, we need there's a market, right? We can open that for the guys.
Yeah.
Right? Because we gotta help.
We would just put sports on TV and have some poker games or something. So overnight patients receive an overnight bag.
Yes.
And a meal of their choice on fine china. So this really is an alternative medicine.
Absolutely.
I'll just put it that way. So how is the GYN Emergent Care Center, let's say, different from a typical OBGYN clinic? Is that typically what we just covered there, or is there anything else that you would want to...
So the difference is that in the emergency center, it's essentially an urgent care that deals with emergent issues, so revolving around same-day issues. So if you're a patient and you don't have time to be seen in an office, you just walk in. You don't need an appointment, and you are seen within 15 minutes, diagnosed, and hopefully treated, so that way when you leave, everything is taken care of. I mean, women nowadays don't have the luxury to make appointment after appointment, and they just want what they want, when they want it. I mean, that's just the society we're in right now.
They might have children with them, or, they're pregnant, and... they need to see somebody right away.
They've got to get back to their families, and they have a busy lifestyle, so we accommodate them.
Right. And there are 4 of those emergent care centers?
There's only one in Long Beach.
Okay.
Yes, we have 4 private offices, but the emergency center is at the Long Beach office.
And that's the one on
Long Beach Boulevard,
right?
3711 Long Beach Boulevard.
Long Beach Boulevard.
Correct.
That's right. Okay. And what can you treat at this emergent care center?
Well, anything from ovarian cysts that can have torsion, meaning that they can twist because they're so large, we can take back to the surgical center and laparoscopically remove those. We treat ectopic pregnancies, acute abdominal pain that has anything to do with a GYN origin, if it's inflammatory. We treat... because we have imaging, so we have an ultrasound available, we can diagnose just about anything that has to do with the female pelvis, and obstetrical. Anyone who is pregnant and has concerns, they're bleeding, they come to see us right away, and we do an ultrasound, we evaluate them, and we help them.
Let me ask you this. Can a woman come to your center if it's non-gynecologically oriented?
Absolutely. For our center, yes, they can schedule just routine examinations. We try to manage everything as much as we can to help the patient out, but ultimately, if it requires something outside of our specialty, outside of our scope, we always recommend she follows up with a specialist.
Sure. How does an all-female team of physicians and staff benefit your patients?
Well, most female patients prefer an all-female staff, except for the anesthesiologist.
That is so funny that you said that, because I remember I don't know if you're old enough to remember or even in the country at the time, but there's a Saturday Night Live skit with Mel Gibson and John Lovitz. And this is when Mel Gibson was much, much younger and the dashing leading man that he was. And he was the guest host of Saturday Night Live. And the skit is he's playing a gynecologist. And the waiting room, right, is full of women waiting to see him. And they're all primping in the waiting room and all excited to wait. And he walks out and he apologizes for the delay. And he says, and so I just want to let all of you ladies know that I've brought on another doctor here. And it's, John Lovitz, who's not particularly, a dashing, good-looking guy or whatever. And none of the women stood up to go faster to see the other doctor. They were all willing to wait for Dr. Mel Gibson.
Oh, that sounds good.
All right, so you have a male anesthesiologist.
Correct.
Okay.
We haven't had any complaints, though. Everyone seems to like him.
I'm sure. That always helps. Yeah. Whether it's bedside manner or whatever it is. So walk me through a typical emergency visit at the Emergent Care Center. What should patients expect?
So if you, even if you're not a patient of ours and you have anything that, let's just say, causes you severe discomfort, you come in, you walk in and you sign in. We take your information. Priscilla, who's at the front desk, notifies the nurse practitioner in the emergency center that you are there. And right away, you get taken to a triaging room where your vital signs are taken, brief history is documented, and the physician who's there is notified. And then the physician comes and evaluates you. If you need an ultrasound, an exam, whatever it is, you get all of that within 30 minutes. And that's pretty hard to find anywhere else. So from there on, whatever it is that you need, you're going to get in that same visit.
For our listeners' benefit, what insurances do you accept?
We accept all major insurances.
Okay. And so you have an on-site surgical center as well?
Correct.
Right. Can you tell us more about that?
So we're primarily a gynecological practice, meaning that we see a lot of gynecology patients that require surgery. So I'd say a good scope of our practice is 60 to 80% procedures. So it's a state-of-the-art pelvic surgery center. It's pretty impressive. We're always up to date in the latest technology.
I was fortunate enough to get a tour.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it was, it really, really is.
Yeah.
Something that you guys should be proud of, and that our community should be proud of, and more people need to know that this is an alternative. A preferred alternative.
Correct, and unlike all other surgical centers that are multi-specialty, we're primarily gynecological. So we have not yet done anything outside of the scope of gynecology. Whereas at other surgical centers, you're going to have some male patients in the recovery room, and
I think one of the other things that is a benefit as well is that you guys, is it not true that you perform all types of labs, imaging, blood work, ultrasounds on site.
Correct. We have
Right,
our
so you don't
own
have to
lab.
send
Yeah,
stuff out and wait
exactly.
hours, perhaps days,
Exactly.
for results.
Yep.
And I understand that cash and student discounts are available.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, so that's excellent. We have obviously we have a large listening audience of students on campus at Cal State Long Beach, and would you mind if you can remember them? Where specifically are these locations around the Long Beach and Lakewood and San Pedro area?
So our offices, the 4 offices in Lakewood, on Lakewood, basically on South Street,
Yes.
next to Lakewood Regional Hospital,
Right.
and then our Long Beach office is on 3711 Long Beach Boulevard, up the street from Long Beach
Right,
Hospital.
up in the Bixby Knolls area.
Correct. The San Pedro office is on 6th Street, okay? West 6th Street. And
In downtown San Pedro.
right next to the San Pedro Hospital,
Yes.
okay? Little company. And then the Naples office is not next to a major hospital.
But it's in Naples Plaza?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. That's typically where the medical offices are, down in the Naples area. So you're spread out with a lot of coverage, no matter where you are in the Long Beach and San Pedro area. So, just why don't you elaborate a little bit more about how your facility kind of goes the extra mile for patients? We talked about aromatherapy and things like that. It must be kind of an unexpected pleasure.
It is.
for
I
some
mean,
of your-
every single patient that comes out of the recovery room is just taken aback by the level of care and attention that they get. It doesn't feel like you just had surgery. You get one-to-one nursing. Anything that you need is pretty much at your disposal.
I gotta believe your patient retention rate is very, very high.
It is very, very
right?
high. Yes.
Because is it fair to assume that what you would like to do is, you help people for that initial reason that they come in, but you'd like to create a long-term relationship
Absolutely,
with each
yes,
patient for
absolutely.
their regular gynecological care?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
and we see their sisters, their mothers, their friends. So it's exactly what we strive for.
Why should are there any other reasons that you can think of why patients should choose complete women care for their gynecological needs?
Well, speaking as a woman, if you have any kind of medical need to be seen so efficiently and receive excellent care, and if surgery is ultimately what is required to have it done so immediately, you can't get that anywhere else. And I only know that because I have patients who do go elsewhere, who do go to urgent care centers or hospitals, and are only sent back to us for follow-up without anything ever being done. So I think that becomes frustrating, and it's really what patients are after right now.
Right.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. So, of course, our listeners want to know, how can they connect with Complete Women Care? Where can they go to find out more information?
Well, we have a website, CompleteWomenCare.com. You can visit us, visit the doctors, all of our facilities, and just...
You have a very detailed website.
Yes, it's very, very
Right.
nice,
And
very
I
well
think
put
there's-
together.
I think there's bios on
Sure,
everybody
yeah.
that works at your centers, and I'm really happy that you have an office kind of near where I live, so I can refer my wife and my daughter-in-law and everybody over to you guys. So we would like to finish up our segment with a little thing that we like to do here on our show, which is our lightning round of questions that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. Are you
Okay.
ready?
I guess.
You better be ready.
I wasn't ready for this.
You were born ready. Okay, so what's, we often talk about food on our show,
Oh,
okay?
boy, okay.
So what's your favorite cuisine? Is it Romanian food?
No, it's too heavy. No, it's too heavy.
Too heavy.
Yeah. I like Japanese. I love Japanese food.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about when you're at home? What's your secret eating indulgence?
Ooh. I make a mean salad with just about everything in it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite TV show?
I'm watching Mad Men right now on Netflix.
Mad Men?
Yeah.
What season are they
yeah.
in now? A lot, right? They've
Yeah.
been around a while. It's a good show. Do you have a hobby unrelated to your business?
Yoga.
Yoga.
Yeah.
Nice. And if you could vacation anywhere in the world that you have not already been, where would it be?
That I haven't been.
Have not been.
Oh, yeah, the Fiji Islands, probably.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I want to go to Fiji too. Well, Dr. Mueller, or Tony, as you like to be called, thank you so much
Oh, it was a pleasure.
for sharing what
Thank
you
you
do,
so much.
the important work that you do, and please, on our behalf, thank everybody at the Complete Women Care for partnering with Travel Host so that we could let the women know who are staying in all the hotels in the Long Beach South Bay area about what you do. And keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. And
It
we're
was
going
a
to go ahead and
pleasure.
take a break. When we come back, we're going to visit with James Brown, the owner of San Pedro Brewing Company. So hang in there, everybody.
Mornings on the beach is a time for reflection, relaxation, and calm. A time to take stock of a brand new day. And then there's a K-Beach morning.
There's two states, right, with legal marijuana use, right? They're getting together. Have you heard?
Yeah, that poke.
For a big old Super Bowl.
Right, that's excellent.
This gives a new meaning to the term Bud Bowl. Legalized marijuana. Is there a bigger competitor for Anheuser-Busch than legalized marijuana?
There you go.
It's really not competitive, I feel like. I feel like people can do both.
Start your mornings on the beach on K-Beach. Weekday mornings 9 to 10 a.m. on kbeach.org and 10 to 11 a.m. on K-Beach FM 88.1 HD3.
Don't mind the rules and the blocks in our way. Born to be winners, and here we will stay. Hey, they don't understand why we do what we do. The legion of champions, yeah, that's what we do. Hey, oh we are, just a generation that'll take it all. Oh we are, just a generation that'll take it all. Take it all, 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 take it all.
You're listening to K-Beach Radio. K-Beach Radio is kbeach.org and KBeach FM 88.1 HD3, KKJZ, Long Beach, Los Angeles. And now from San Pedro Brewing Company, here's your host, A Taste of the Beach, Mr. Dan Lipton.
Thank you,
It's
Charlie.
a beast. It's a beast.
Welcome back, everybody. And we are here at the San Pedro Brewing Company, as Charlie said, with the proprietor, Mr. James Brown. How are you, sir?
I feel good.
I bet you do. And we're at 331, right, West 6th Street in downtown San Pedro. Some people like to call it the LA waterfront. Some people like to call it San Pedro. Either way, make your way down here. This is a great place. So, James, tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. First of all, I've been here 15 years, 15 great years down here on 6th Street. I grew up in a hospitality family. My father was in the Air Force for 4 years, and for 20 years, and for 4 of those years was stationed in France. So as my folks were beginning their family of 6 kids, my mom would go and take weekend courses in Paris at Le Cordon Bleu and La Varenne cooking schools.
Wow.
And started honing some skills as a French chef.
Yes.
When we were stationed back in the States, we came to Los Angeles, and as we grew a little bit older, my mom was looking for something to do, started a catering business. So for 20 years, she had a catering business, and we ran it out of the house, which you can't do anymore. Back in the old days before insurance and stringent health inspections, you could run a small business like that out of your house. So, when we would come home from school, you'd have your usual list of chores: clean your room, take out the trash, Well, at our house, it was, diced 20 pounds of tomatoes. And so we had catering business, and I hated catering. I hated it because we had to prep it. We had to shop for it, prep it at the house, pack it up, take it to the party, set it up, serve it, clean it up, come back, and unpack. So I swore to myself I'd never be a caterer. Okay? So I do a lot of catering now. It's kind of ironic. But so as it was around that, I would work in restaurants when I was a kid, pizza place, and I would bartend for my mom. And when I got out of college, out of UCLA 25 years
Right.
ago.
We need to make sure that UCLA is.
Well, we got to do a plug, of course, right?
Yes.
And a friend of mine was opening up a small brew pub in Manhattan Beach, and I was in medical sales. And he said, "Hey, can you come down and help me out with your pizza?" They did small little California pizza kits, out pizzas. I would go in the kitchen, I would bartend. This is what I would do after work. Well, the place is a huge success. It was one of the first brew pubs in Los Angeles to really take off. And I eventually quit my suit and tie job and went and worked there. I lived right down the street. So that was a huge success. And then I took money from there and invested in Redondo Beach Brewing Company, and ran that for 3 years. And then I got into selling brewing equipment. So if you look over there, our brew house.
Right. So we're right here in the restaurant, and they brew on premise here at San Pedro Brewing Company.
I manufactured equipment for 6 years out of the Czech Republic.
Oh, no kidding.
So I had the good fortune of being able to travel to Prague a numerous amount of times and take customers to the factory and sell brewing equipment. So, and then after that, I said, okay, I need to get back in. I got married and said, hey, let's, I want to look for another restaurant location. Well, I used to come to this location here, which is a little pub called John T's Tavern. And John T is the John T and John T Gaffey, which is the main drag.
Oh, right, sure. Gaffey Street.
This was his office building that he built in the early 20s.
Such a cool location.
So if you look, over there, you can't see it obviously, but it was a little pub that was here for about 10 years, 1990 to the end of the 90s. And a good little Irish pub, looks like it could be a bar in San Francisco, Baltimore, and went out of business, was empty for 2 years. I bought it, expanded into this room we're sitting in, where we have the dining room, the stage, added the brewery, and we've been here for 15 years.
Awesome.
And to wrap that up, I spent a lot of my time catering. So it's kind of funny how that's come full circle.
Well, right. I mean, you parlayed all of your background into what you do today.
Yeah, and I love beer, so it's fitting that.
Same here, and we don't need to tell everybody that's listening how craft beer has taken off. I mean, it's exploding right now in this area. I went to the grand opening of Phantom Carriage
Oh, sure. Good.
over the weekend.
Good.
And there's in my neighborhood in Bixby Knolls, within a half a block of each other, we have Stateside Crafts, which is a retail craft brew store,
Right.
tasting room.
Okay.
Next door, Duchess Brew House is about to open, where you can make beer.
Right.
And then just down the street, Wyland Brewery is going to open at the end of the month.
Good.
From
Wonderful.
downtown.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wonderful.
So, I mean, with
It's
what
great.
you're
And-
doing,
and-
and I mean, just trying to keep up with that and promote it is.
We're doing a big expansion, and we're in the process right now of opening up one block over at an old USO dance hall and an old garage that's been sitting empty for 20 years. It's called Liberty Auditorium, and back in the 20s and 30s, the guys that were in the Navy, the Merchant Marines, the fishermen would go there for dances. So it's been empty for 20 years, and we're putting our expansion company called Port Town, and we're going to build a big brewery with a tasting room one block away. Should be open in a year.
Awesome.
We're dancing with the city of LA.
Right. I mean, I know that you've been working on this project for quite a while, but that's great.
It'll be good. It'll be
yeah,
fun.
I mean, this from Long Beach up through the South Bay. Torrance is booming with breweries.
We're getting another one in San Pedro called Crafted. Brewery
right.
West at Crafted.
Brewery West at Crafted.
So those guys are under construction right now. So
yes,
a lot of beer out there.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your beer. Right? So you brew on premise. Tell us a little bit about the types of beer you have, how many you have at any given time, etc.
Sure. We have 7 or 8 of our own beers on tap every day. We always have a couple of guest beers. We like to support local breweries, like we mentioned. My brewer Jason's been with me for 9 years. Has won something in the number of around 72 awards in those 9 years.
Wow.
We enter a lot of different beer competitions. One, to see how we stack up against other breweries.
Sure. Have you been to Denver? The one in
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Great
The
American
big
Beer
one?
Fest, right?
Yeah.
He'll, it's also good for marketing. It's good for his ego. But really, the whole gist of entering beer competitions is to see the results that we get back because it's a blind panel of judges that taste the beers. So we get tasting notes. So we've been able to take these notes over the years from these professional judges, say, hey, this was off, the color was off, the taste was off, and really fine tune our recipes over the years to where we are now. We usually have a light beer, a blonde ale, or a pilsner. We typically have a wheat beer. We'll have some type of pale ale, be it a pale ale, an IPA on tap. We'll always do a red ale or a dark ale. We just brewed James Brown Ale. That'll be coming up. That has hazelnuts in it. We typically have a dark beer like an imperial stout. Then we'll have a seasonal beer, a barley wine. We'll do fruit beers during the summer. We'll do Oktoberfest, and then we do a dark beer for winter. So we always have a lot of our beers on tap, and really try to keep up with.
Is that something that you? I don't want. I mean, obviously you have a passion for it, but do you get involved in the?
I get
process?
involved with helping develop the recipes, and then certainly tasting. But as far as the actual brewing, Jason does that.
Sure. And then, where do you guys get your inspiration to change beers from other things you've tried, or?
Sure.
I mean, it's not unlike food and messing with recipes and.
We are always about tasting beers from other breweries. Part of the reason when we bring these other beers in, we see what styles that these other craft brewers are making. Oh, we can do that. So we do that. We go out a lot. We'll buy beers. It's fun because as we know, the craft beers exploded, but the different styles and sub styles that have evolved in the last 10 years is ridiculously crazy. There's more diversity in the United States in beer styles than there is anywhere else in the world right now. I mean, it's the old school European countries still stick to their styles. But what's interesting is if you've heard of Stone Brewery down in Escondido, they're opening up in Berlin.
Wow.
So they're bringing
really
American
amazing
craft style beer
yes.
to
and
Germany.
I think they're the model that a lot of small breweries aspire to be, because they went from that small little place to now big distribution and now international presence. And
we'd love to be those guys.
Yeah, sure.
International distribution sounds good.
But Budweiser has felt the pain of the craft brew industry big time.
Without a doubt.
Their sales are down 30%. In Bud, and young people have matriculated to craft brewing, and when we went to this grand opening the other day, you look at the crowd, and it's millennials.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about. I just want to mention, just because you're a connoisseur of beer, and I like to say that I'm a connoisseur of wine, but I'm working my way to try to. I make beer. I brought you samples. I don't know if it's,
I tried it.
Dishwater or whatever, but
no, it was great. It was great beer, Dan.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you saying that, whether it was or not. But I tried a beer the other day that I really fell in love with. Have you ever had Allagash Curio?
No, I've had Allagash White, but I've not had Allagash Curio.
Which is a triple.
Is that a triple IPA, right?
Right. That is aged in Jack Daniel's barrels.
Well, we just...
or Jim Beam. Maybe it's Jim Beam.
Sure. We have our Imperial Stout aging downstairs right now. We bought rye whiskey barrels from a place called Woodinville Whiskeys up in Washington.
Nice.
So we did it last year, and we've got them ready. We'll bring them out in April. So we're going to have a couple of barrel-aged beers.
Oh, nice.
So you can come in and see how it stacks up with the Allagash.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Tell us about your menu.
We have a big menu, something I've developed over the years. We do a lot of different things. We have heavy appetizers from ceviche. We do calamari. We do, the typical things like buffalo wings. We have our most popular is our seared ahi appetizer. People love that.
I believe we're going to be sampling that today.
We're going to sample that in a little bit. And we do things from like quesadillas and shrimp cocktail. to a grilled artichoke. We also do a artichoke spinach dip that we serve with tortilla chips, and that's really popular. That's one of our most popular items. So we have a lot of different things. We have great happy hour specials every day, Monday through Friday. that
So
you
for
get.
people who are not familiar with your location, let's just
Right.
paint a picture for them for a minute. It's a
Okay.
beautiful old brick building, and of course, growing up on the East Coast, I love brick. You don't see a lot of brick here, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful, like you mentioned, old building that you've really restored. But it's also a sports bar, right? I mean, you
Sure.
can come in here and watch UCLA Bruin games.
You can watch UCLA, you can watch USC. We tend to show them from time to time. We get the full, all the NFL games, all college, everything. We're all about sports here. We get Dodger games. We're one of the few places to get Dodger games.
Well, that's it. Yes, you're
So
right.
We'll have those. They haven't figured that deal out.
Yeah, no
And then we
kidding.
do live music on weekends. So we do everything.
Right, and we're sitting right next to the stage.
Right. So we'll do everything from cover bands to punk bands to, all kinds of stuff. So we're all about doing different things here.
Great. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. We know the food is on the way. We're going to sample a few of James' favorites, and then continue to visit with James Brown, the owner of our host location this week, the San Pedro Brewing Company, in downtown San Pedro. So hang in there, everybody. We will be right back.
Mornings on the beach is a time for reflection, relaxation, and calm. A time to take stock of a brand new day. And then there's a K-Beach morning.
2 words. Old Yeller.
Oh God, was that? Oh
Yeah.
my God, I cried.
No, but you
cried.
know what Disney movie's a little out there when you really think about it is Pinocchio.
I was gonna say all of them.
Pinocchio is getting high and seeing stuff.
Hey, listen.
And what
living
is
with
that,
the old
what is that
man.
whole symbolism of Pinocchio's nose anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you, you have a room
don't
full
get
of
it.
animators who are drawing a boy who gets high, donkeys that can fly. I mean, what do you think was going on?
Living
over
with an
there?
old man.
Right.
Well, are they all old white animators in that
Yeah,
room?
like who was praying. He had one thing he could pray for. He prayed for a little boy. What? Not a wife?
No, with a
Yeah,
little
they didn't
boy.
call those Disney animators the 9 old men for nothing.
In fact, we got a mic
Down your pants.
See?
All right, welcome back to A Taste of the Beach, everybody. Dan Lipton here with DJ Charlie Sharp and our guest, Mr. James Brown, the owner of the San Pedro Brewing Company, where we're at right now at 331 West 6th Street in downtown San Pedro. James, the food's outstanding, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Great combination of brews and beers. So would you mind taking a moment and recapping what it is that we dined on today?
Sure. We started off with the seared ahi appetizer.
That's incredible.
Which is our most popular appetizer. It's a real generous portion
Very
of
generous.
yellowfin tuna that we sear the outside, put some sesame, white and black sesame seeds on it, put it on a bed of rice noodles with some cabbage, and then we have wasabi, soy, and a little of our Chinese dressing that we use for our Chinese chicken salad. And, it's a good to share with everybody.
It's great.
We had our famous fish and chips, which is a real generous portion of Atlantic cod that we bread and fry lightly and serve on with our French fries and some tartar sauce and some cocktail sauce. And then you also had our ceviche, our shrimp ceviche, which we dice up a bunch of veggies and our shrimp and serve that with fresh-made tortilla chips. And lastly, we had the Memphis-style pulled pork barbecue sandwich on a roll that we get that's baked by Giuliano's Bakery in Torrance that they do every week, twice a week for us, and with barbecue sauce. And then you guys sampled some of our house beers.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the beer. So,
Sure.
What do you? So we had an assortment of I think 6.
You had our sampler tray of 6 of our beers. It's about 30 ounces of beer. It's $10, and
Great deal.
instead of just going right to a full pint, you can get a little taste of the Bruco and sample our different styles. We range from light to medium to dark, and that's kind of what that's all about. You can really taste it, and then if you want to order one after that, you can do that too.
Yeah, and you have a great serving tray that it's in that actually labels them, which is always key. I've been to lots of places that make really good beer, but then you're looking at it, you have no idea what it is you're drinking.
And we can't remember half the time either, so that's why we use that.
Well, it's perfect, and your brews taste great. So, tell us a little bit more about kind of what's on the horizon for you. I mean, I know you kind of alluded to a big project that you got working on. This will be will there be a food component? And I can remind everybody the name of the.
Sure, we are working on an expansion in an old dance hall from the last century, a USO dance hall, where the sailors, the merchant marines, the fishermen, the longshoremen would come and dance and try to meet girls. And it's been empty for 20 years. It's on 7th Street. It was called Liberty Auditorium. We are looking to put Port Town Brewing Company in there and have a big brewery with a tasting room. We are still going back and forth over the food component. But if anything, we'll serve food from here. So if somebody's having an event, like a fundraiser, we can cater it from here because we do a lot of catering. But we can offer a limited menu where we can literally run across the street and bring something in a to-go container. So we're debating on we're still working out the numbers on a kitchen. And,
That's a pretty large space, is it not?
It's big. It's 10,000 square feet. And it's, hasn't, like I said, it hasn't been touched in 20 years. So there's a lot of things going on with bringing it back to life. But it's on a corner. It's on 7th Street, which will be great to have foot traffic over there and another, brewery in town. So by the time we get that open, we'll have this place. We'll have Brewery West down at Crafted.
Isn't there Iron City?
Iron City's a little pub near J. Trainee's.
It's not a brewery.
It's a little pub, yeah.
It looks like a
Iron
brewery.
City is a brewery out of Pittsburgh. Right.
Yes.
So they took the name of the pub.
That's what it was, right.
Yeah.
Because, that's what I associated Iron City with, right?
Of course.
Steelers and all that, right?
Of course.
Okay, so will you use your brewmaster here at the new place?
Yes, he will transfer over there, and then we'll most likely bring another brewer over here, and this will be our pilot brew house that we can do our smaller batches and do a little experimentation because we'll be able to make a lot of beer over there, which a lot of it will sell back here as well as wholesaling. But we'll use this place as our kind of our pilot brewery and do those specialty beers I mentioned earlier. And hopefully do a few more. We can do some kind of crazier stuff.
James, do you sell your beer to other places?
We do. We have this Port Town Brewery is up and running. We do small batches. We're available through Southern Wine and Spirits.
Did you say Sport Town?
Port Town.
Port Town.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Port Town.
Port Town Brewery.
But Port Town is up and running in very small batches. We do a Pilsner and we do a Hefeweizen, and we market it through Southern Wine and Spirits. So we're in about 50 places.
Great.
In Southern California. We like to get to, when we open up, to 1,000.
Are you in bottles or in kegs?
Just kegs only right now. We have plans for either keg or bottles or cans down the line.
And so obviously you do that here or at the other facility?
We do it here, and then we also rent space out of another brewery that we go and brew at. So when we do a larger batch, Jason goes down and brews, and we rent the facility out.
Right. Now, if somebody comes in here, they can get beer to go, can they not?
Correct. We sell mini growlers, which are 32-ounce bottles of beer, fresh beer to go, which is the equivalent of 2 pints. So you can take home a couple of beers with you, and you can buy the glass one time for $5, and then you can refill it over and over. And then when we get to the larger capacity place, we'll sell bigger growlers. We're kind of limited on what we make here, so that's why we have the smaller version of it. But you can get a couple of them. So,
if someone's having an event, can they get your beer in keg? Come in and get your beer in a keg?
We really don't actively market that right now. We will go out and do some beer events and a couple of charity things here, but right now we're not selling straight out in kegs because of our capacity.
Sure. How can our listeners connect with the San Pedro Brewing Company?
A couple different ways. We have our website, which is sanpedrobrewing.com. We have a lot of people on our Facebook page, about 5,000 people. So Facebook, and then that connects to Twitter, Instagram. But I'd say, the easiest thing is to like us on Facebook. We run some specials on there. We're actively updating that pretty much. Well, we are actively, updating it every day with lunch specials, dinner specials, events, live music, sporting. We do Dodger bus trips. We do all kinds of things. So I would say Facebook is probably the best way to hit us.
And what is your website address and your Facebook.
It's Facebook's, just search San Pedro Brewing Co. and that'll pop up. And San Pedro Brewing Company, you just Google that, that'll pop up.
Okay. And so I need to ask you this. It's slightly off the subject, but I'm not originally from here, and so I don't have an allegiance to either of the two big college football teams because we don't have pros. So the college teams assume that role here in Los Angeles. And I've always kind of felt, I never understood why USC seems to get the lion's share of the fans. They get the lion's share of the attention. And I don't know, personally, I lean more toward, the blue and gold or blue and yellow, whatever it is. I always felt like if I had to choose which one of those two places that I wanted to go to school, it was. I've been to Westwood. There was no
no-brainer. I think it's just based really on the tradition of USC football. Like UCLA, has a strong basketball lineage, but through the decades, USC with
it's because football rules. And
football rules, yeah.
SC rules, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm one of the few Bruins in town, but I'm small, but I'm mighty.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I love how you put it out there, man.
Sure. My dad went to USC, so I grew up in a USC household. But we had 6 kids, and we weren't going to USC. We all went to, UC Davis,
more
Berkeley,
affordable
UCLA. Yeah,
but those are good schools. UC, man.
Come on.
You're there's some smarts to go to UC schools. I know that for a fact. Okay, so we're going to move into our lightning round of questions. Okay. What's your favorite cuisine?
Asian.
Okay.
Absolutely.
When you're at home, what's your secret eating indulgence?
I would say it's my mom's recipe of, we call it brown popcorn that we've made for 50 years, and it's secret ingredient.
Do tell.
Secret ingredient is you have no butter, but it's salt and MSG.
Salt and MSG.
Yep. That would be my. It's got great
flavor of MSG.
Everybody's afraid of MSG, but I'm not.
I will eat it, even though my nose is going to run like crazy. But I'll eat it. Sounds good. What's your favorite TV show?
You know what I'd have to say right now? I watch it with my wife, and she doesn't make me watch, but it's The Good Wife.
The Good Wife.
Sunday nights. It's a good show. I like the writing.
Yeah, it's 60 minutes, and then it's that one about the White House.
Madam Secretary. Yeah, we watched that too. Right. Sure, that's good. Those are good. Yeah, I like good writing.
Yeah. What's a hobby of yours unrelated to the business?
I would say I'd like to get out and golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get away from the restaurant, get away from the crazy. It's nice to go out there.
Let's do it.
Definitely. Get out there and hit. Just nice to get outside, get away from work. There's so many beautiful courses around here.
Tons. Beautiful. And if you could vacation anywhere in the world, James, that you haven't already been, what's on the list to go?
I've been a lot of places. I would like to go and visit South America. I've been to Europe 30 times. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Caribbean, Mexico a lot. I'd like to go to South America.
Yeah.
And check out Argentina and Brazil.
Sure.
Just to really get down and see what that's all about.
So far, I've just made it to Ecuador because my son married an Ecuadorian girl.
Nice.
But the other son married a Peruvian girl.
Okay, there you go.
We got to go to Peru. But
yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time, for your generosity, for your hosting, for your partnership in our publication.
Wonderful.
For your great nature and everything that we do.
Great.
I really appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and take a very short break. And when we come back, I'll let you know about everything we're doing in and around town this weekend, everyone. So hang in there.
I hit the sand. I've been too long out there.
welcome back to our final segment of A Taste of the Beach, everybody. This is Dan Lipton with DJ Charlie Sharp, and I want to thank our guests that we had today, Dr. Tony Mueller of Complete Women Care, and James Brown, the owner of the San Pedro Brewing Company, where we're broadcasting from today. I'll tell you a little bit about the magazine that I publish. If you're a hotel guest, you're going to find it in over 90 hotels, 13,000 guest rooms from Seal Beach to Manhattan Beach, reaching in excess of 3 million travelers a year. And basically, we just love to connect the business and leisure traveler to all the great dining, shopping, and entertainment locations while they're staying with us in the Long Beach and South Bay area. And you can read our magazine online at longbeach.travelhost.com and just click on the magazine cover. You'll find Complete Women's Care ad on page 5 in the latest issue of our travel resource guide, and San Pedro Brewing Company's ad is located on page 72. Please like their Facebook pages. We'd also like you to like ours at Travel Host LB. And Charlie, how do our listeners friend K-Beach Radio?
It's K-Beach Radio HD on Facebook.
Thank you, Charlie. Here's what's going on, everyone, in and around town this weekend. So the 16-16 Long Beach State 49er basketball team, coming off impressive back-to-back victories in their final 2 regular season games, head into the Big West tournament at Honda Center in Anaheim tonight versus the University of Hawaii. Long Beach State has reached at least the semifinals of the Big West tournament in each of the last 6 seasons. All games are broadcast here on K-Beach. And to purchase tickets to tonight's game out at Honda Center, okay, you can get that information at longbeachstate.com/sports. Definitely go down to Anaheim, everybody, tonight and root on the 49ers. Big West, this is March Madness, folks. They need your support. And so the tournament basically starts tonight because, as you know, the winner of the Big West tournament moves on to the field of 64 for the college championships. If any of our listeners need awesome seats, either to tonight's games or at a great concert, sporting events, including upcoming Dodgers and Angels next month, you got to call my friend Bill Tarazzi at Ticket Giant, or go to ticketgiant.com, and he'll take great care of you, I promise. You will not pay more money working with Bill than if you just went and bought those tickets yourself. You get great customer service, personal attention, and the best seats anywhere. The restaurants, bars, and streets of downtown Long Beach will be filled with music tonight as the Downtown Long Beach Associates continue with Live After 5. It's a monthly event that activates traditional spaces like bars and restaurants, as well as non-traditional locations like parks, empty storefronts, and street corners with live performers. And on the second Thursday of each month, Live After 5 celebrates the arts and music culture of downtown Long Beach. Go to downtownlongbeach.org for more information on that. The second Saturday Art Walk takes place around the streets of Ocean Boulevard, Linden Avenue, 1st Street, Broadway, and Elm this coming Saturday. And that's where local art galleries and retail businesses, kind of come together, stay open late. They close Linden Avenue to traffic and just transform it into a street art fair by local artists. There are 2 stages dedicated to street performances and live music. Anybody and everybody is welcome. And the hours are from 4 to 10 p.m. Admission is free. Multi-Grammy Award winner David Sanborn brings his sax to the Carpenter Center right on campus at Cal State Long Beach this Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. I don't know if any of you know this, but David Sanborn is a polio survivor who has performed with David Bowie, Stevie Wonder, James Taylor. And the Carpenter Center will donate proceeds to help end polio. Go to carpenterarts.org for tickets to see David Sanborn this Sunday at the Carpenter Center. On March 26th and 27th, the production of In the Mood will be at the Terrace Theater in downtown Long Beach. I will absolutely be there. I'm really looking forward to this. Created and produced by the heralded Bud Forrest, In the Mood celebrates American greatest generation through the jazzy, sentimental, and patriotic music of Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, Gary James, the Andrews Sisters, Frank Sinatra, and many of the other idols of the 1940s. I would go to Ticketmaster for ticket availability, but I'm really looking forward. I love that music. I love that song In the Mood. Obviously, they've named a show after it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the music, though. There's dance, there's performances around the music. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to be a fun time. So that is March 26th and 27th of this month. So there's still time to look into tickets for that. On Monday, April the 6th, from 6 to 9 p.m., I'll be hosting my own third annual Friends of Travel Host magazine celebration, benefiting the Long Beach Ronald McDonald House at the Hotel Maya. Charlie will be joining me, and we'll have live entertainment, plenty of food and drink. But most importantly, this is an event where we auction off items for you to bid on that raise money for the Long Beach Ronald McDonald House. The house is a place where parents can stay while their kids are right next door at Long Beach Memorial Children's Hospital being treated for some very, very serious issues. And parents can stay there very, very inexpensively, get great food, great care, and know that they can get a good night's sleep and not just sleep, in the hallways or the rooms of their children.
And we also want to let you know, coming up on April 12th, which is just a few weeks away, is the Walk for Kids event.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge event down at Shoreline Village.
I'll be walking there, and you're involved.
I will be hosting, so
yes.
we're going to be probably live on the air doing that.
Good. So
this will be my third year in a row hosting. So
thank you, Charlie.
Yep.
And so we love the house. We really want you to participate in both events. To get an invite to my event at the Hotel Maya, just give me a buzz at 562-480-0784, or go to Travel Host LB on Facebook, and you can register right at the top of the page. Of course, next Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day, Charlie. Yep. So everybody, get your green on and enjoy the holiday responsibly. And Charlie, basically on behalf of A Taste of the Beach, next week we are going to be chatting with Elaine Vaughn from Catalina Express.
Oh, fun.
And find out what's going on over a few miles out there on the water across at the beautiful island of Catalina. So everybody, have a great weekend. Make sure you get busy with all the things that's going on in and around town. And we thank you for listening to the show every Thursday at 11 a.m. And check in with Charlie at Mornings on the Beach every weekday at 9 a.m. And what time is your show, your award-winning show, Charlie?
In the Mix is Monday, Friday, 12 noon to 1.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Peace. Be good, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you.